Well, this is a record. It's 11 a.m. Out the door. Well, I've been out the door more than an hour ago, but it failed. Audio issues, weather, and more. I used this lavalier, right? Take this out, take that out, hook it to this, hook it to that, and it all failed. I did a 15-minute weather forecast with T-Rex, and now take two. It's a gray sky here in South Dennis, and I'm using the microphone on the iPhone, which when it's not windy works out pretty well. It was so windy yesterday. There were whitecaps on the pond, and this morning it's calm. And if the first version had worked, you would have seen showed the temperature. Outside was 52, inside was 61. And then I said, did your heat come on? And then I came over and I read the name of the comet that went by. And let's see if I can remember it. C2023 Chinsun Atlas. A comet that we just discovered 18 months ago was in our evening sky. I talked about that. And then I said, wow, look at this cloud. It was totally clear when the sun came up in South Dennis, and I showed this time lapse of a beautiful start. Did you have a frost in your yard this morning with a clear sky last night, making that comet visible, and the moon and the stars and the planets? And it was chilly this morning, coldest morning so far. As a matter of fact, first freeze of the season. This table from the National Weather Service in Boston shows the temperatures of the last 24 hours. It comes out at 8 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. approximately. And yesterday it was 75 degrees, summertime feel, and kind of windy, but the wind diminished. And then this morning, a place like New Bedford that was 75 yesterday got down to 32 this morning. Same thing on Martha's Vineyard. And Norwood, also 75, got down to 28 this morning. Did I miss the freeze and frost advisories from yesterday? I didn't see. So I think that the cold was a little underestimated. And now there's warm air trying to come back at us, and that is a boundary in the atmosphere. The front that went by yesterday has stalled off to our south, and we've got waves of low pressure, sort of a train of low pressure systems coming down the track with one after another energy centers. We're still dealing with that strong storm south of Greenland. As a matter of fact, it's kind of doubled down. If you were watching yesterday, you saw the satellite image with that storm taking up most of the North Atlantic. Well, now the low that went by north of Maine yesterday is south of it, and it is now a double barrel satellite image showing the cloud from Western Europe all the way into central Canada. Wow. And so the North Atlantic is loaded, and there's another piece of energy charging down across Ontario and Quebec. It's sort of discharged from the North Pole. It's not going to be a constant feed of cold, so it's going to be a pool of cool that we use over the next several days to wring out a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Let's check the satellite image, and this is from about 8 a.m., and it showed a real thick cloud, nimbostratus, over Vermont and New Hampshire. That was a rain cloud. Snow level is up pretty high, by the way. I think the HRRR was wrong from yesterday. And over western Pennsylvania, those are cumulonimbus. Those are 35,000 foot tall clouds. That's why you see the shadows on the west side of those as the low sun this morning illuminated those mountainous clouds. And those are thunderstorm clouds. Here is the radar from this morning. Much of this is so much earlier in the day. Calling the play-by-play. A lot of lightning with those storms coming out of Ohio. Yesterday there was a half-inch diameter hail in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and so there's some hail coming out of that. And the surface analysis shows that there are 3 waves of low pressure on this boundary, which has stalled to our south and is now slowly lifting back to the north. Low near Pennsylvania, another low just south of Michigan, another low in Wisconsin, in the 60s to the south of the low, and the 30s and 40s to the north of the lows. And that's a boundary with the air coming from the north over southeastern Canada. A little 1016 millibar high pressure system kind of broke off and is sitting right over New England. That's the reason for such calm air this morning. And up in the sky, though, the wind is ripping along, and those showers and thunderstorms are going to come through New England, and snow too. But how much snow? That's still a moving target. This whole thing over the next 48 hours is a huge moving target. A lot of conflict on how much snow we're going to get, and between the guidance and between the meteorologists. Are you watching? Are you still going with the GFS 12 inches or more? I know I'm not. So yesterday the HRRR showed some possible snow in our mountains of southern Vermont this morning. So I went to the webcam at Mount Snow to see if it was rain or snow that was coming through, and it was clearly rain, and pretty though. Look at the reservoir there and the pretty colors, and so it is rain, and the freezing level is way up there. We can use the thermometers on the Mount Washington Auto Road where it showed all the way up to 4,000 feet, the temperature in the lower 40s. So the snow level, it's much colder above that, but the snow level is up around 6,000 feet, and other than the presidential range, we don't have any mountains that tall in New England. So the HRRR from yesterday morning showing the snow in southern Vermont was wrong, as I anticipated. And now let's go to the HRRR from today. This is the new run from this morning, latest guidance anyway, and it shows the showers, and the green is rain. The yellow would be some heavier rain, perhaps some hail, and maybe some sleet or grapple coming down in some of these downpours in western Massachusetts there about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And there is a little bit of blue showing up there. And the northern edge of the precipitation, that's in the Mount Washington range, will start snowing. And then it is going to gradually turn colder as that 1,007 millibar low goes by. And note, very little precipitation on the coast from Connecticut to Cape Cod might not do anything. And along the Massachusetts Turnpike and points north, that's where the precipitation comes and goes really quickly. It's gone tomorrow. In northern New England, we have a new low forming, or maybe 2 lows redeveloping on the Maine coast. And then the precipitation kind of shuts down completely tomorrow afternoon. It gets windy and it's turning much colder. And then I haven't seen this output because it wasn't completely done, but tomorrow night into Tuesday, there'll be some upslope snow redeveloping in the mountains from northern New York through northern Vermont, maybe even to central Vermont. And it should get cold enough that snow guns can come on at the places that really are ambitious, like the top of Killington, the top of Superstar. Probably get a pile of snow made before that cold air lifts back out on Thursday. Any freeze opportunity at the tops of the mountains is going to be from tomorrow afternoon through about Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening. And we'll look at the Boston 5-day, and it shows just really nice, well, after nice weather starting Tuesday with a lot of wind. But between now and then, there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty how much rain we're getting in Boston. GFS says 0, Euro says 0.3, and that's in showers and maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon and tonight. And then tomorrow, look at that blue line. That's the dew point line up near 60 at lunchtime, temperature in the 60s, and the wind will switch and come around from the southwest and then the northwest, and then the dew point goes from 60 to 34 from lunchtime to dinner time tomorrow. That's the new cold and dry air coming in, and then the sunshine returns near the coast, a lot like what happened last week when it was snowing on Mount Washington and it was so sunny near the beaches. And the wind is going to be fluctuating back and forth, up and down. Now, the one good thing about this camera with its microphone, it gets the birds. And that's a blue jay and a Carolina wren singing for us. A little intermission here as we're doing the weather part, and more will be coming up pretty soon. Is that a chickadee? I'm not even sure. I haven't heard many chickadees. We get comments, the viewer feedback saying, I think that might be. I'm not sure what that is. It sounds like multiple birds. Is that a mockingbird? So what are you doing today? You doing some yard cleanup? It's probably not raining south of the Massachusetts Turnpike. And then when's it going to snow in our mountains? I'm not going to use the GFS. I'll just tell you that the GFS is still trying to show 10 to 15 inches of snow in our mountains of northern New England, but I'm going with the Euro, and so let's do it. The Euro showing the low pressure system coming out of the Great Lakes, another low going across the south coast of New England, and I'm going to stop it tomorrow morning. This is Columbus Day, Monday at 11 a.m., essentially 24 hours from where I'm standing right now. And that 999 low over Lake Ontario, and this has been consistent for 3 days in a row. When the track of this low makes a huge difference. I mean, if it moves farther north, you're warmer. If it moves farther south, you're colder. But the Euro has been consistent. And then there's a handoff of energy from that stronger low in western New York to the new low that's going to be forming right over Gloucester. And it's essentially, I was wrong about it being a triple point low. It's actually the low that's coming over today, kind of slowing down and waiting. And then the two are going to phase. They're going to merge. And then you have one storm and put it back into motion. One storm deepening through the 990s in eastern Maine and northern Maine, and kind of slowing down and looping, but nowhere near as far west as it looped on the models yesterday. So this is why my hopes for snow in our mountains is diminishing, because that low 12Z Tuesday, stop it again, is about a 990. Now, instead of being north of Vermont, it's north of Maine. So the whole energy has shifted to the east, and there's a huge 1035 high way out there in Minnesota. So that's about a 45 millibar gradient. That's amazing. So that's a strong wind developing, especially in the hills. I mean, Mount Washington gusted to 120 yesterday. It's going to gust probably equally as strong with this. And there's those blue lines, 540 and 534. It's not a solid continuous injection of cold into this system. It's just an old cold pool that's going to be weakening in a very diffuse areas. The energy is not focused. It's really spread out. So I am sticking with the Euro on this, that it's only a few inches of snow instead of double digit snow as we put it back in motion, and that low eases out to our north and east. On Thursday, we start warming up, and now we're all above freezing at all levels of the atmosphere here. Well, in our mountains up to the top of Mount Washington, even will be melting by then. And then that huge high kind of takes over and dominates the entire eastern United States from the Rockies to the Atlantic Ocean on Friday into Saturday's 1035, 1036 high. It's very strong. That's sinking air. That's beautiful for us. But on the southern end and the western end of these highs, that's where you watch out for trouble. Florida, it looks windy and wet with strong onshore flow. And then there's another front coming out of southern Canada that's going to come through probably after the weekend. So we get to about Monday, the 21st. That front goes through with some showers and thunderstorms. Then colder air is just to our north. Doesn't look like it's going to be a deep dive of cold, but there's a new high. And then if we stop it at day 10, that's around Tuesday, late in the day on the 22nd. And there's another front with a lot of cold in Canada that's going to come in probably the second half of next week. It's a week from Tuesday or Wednesday. And then if we pan south with the projection here on the map, on the southern end of the high, there is perhaps Hurricane Nadine, very close to Hispaniola or the Bahamas, starting to recurve. So that's much farther south and west and stronger than the guidance had it 24 hours ago. And so that's going to be a moving target. And this is now the about third run in a row where the Euros has Nadine headed toward the Northern Caribbean or the Southern Bahamas. And so that's going to be something to watch and to be worried about. But there's no need to really lose any sleep over it right now, even for residents that are still recovering from the last two hurricanes. The National Hurricane Center has diminished the forecast for that. The probability, yesterday it was an orange with a X probability of 40% of tropical cyclone development, and now today they've diminished it to 20%, a yellow X. So Hurricane Center is less bullish on Nadine, but the Euro is bullish, so that's going to be something to watch. All right, 13 minutes in. My second tape. This day is going so slow, nothing like I planned, but you know my motto on Sunday is not in a hurry Sunday. And so I try not to be in a hurry. Going to be watching football this afternoon and admiring nature. It's amazing. Look at the compost pile. There it is. That's my worm farm. All of last year's leaves over there, and then the good loam is over there, and you grew pumpkins out of it. And there's one pumpkin, but I get this turkey feather in my hand. You can kind of see how it matches, how turkeys kind of blend in with their environment. And there have been so many turkeys around. And aren't pumpkins supposed to turn orange? Angela? Anna? Aren't pumpkins supposed to turn orange? Oh, happy birthday, by the way, to Angela, master gardener. And she was the one harvesting the potatoes here a short time ago, right down there. And we still get some squash, some funny looking squash that we don't know whether to put on the table as an ornament or eat. We'll probably do both. And there's still some bell peppers over here. So the and more from yesterday, we've done with the weather. This is called the and more. Weather and more. Yesterday was so beautiful. The wind relaxed, and we put the beach to sleep for the winter. We brought in 2 rafts, cleaned them up. Boy, were they messy with so much guano, so much. The cormorants just made the most of that raft more than the humans, and we had to clean that, take it in. That was a lot of work. And community, we're all just volunteers here in our neighborhood association. Hey, look at that pumpkin. Hey, there's a good one. So you find things. I forgot about that one. So that's a white pumpkin. We'll do some time lapse yesterday here on Bass River, and oh yeah, the comet. Colton Flint caught the comet in Massachusetts yesterday. Beautiful image. Thank you, Colton. And then Andrew McCarthy. What a shot of this comet and the starship that went up and came down and was grabbed by the arms. Oh my goodness, SpaceX taking it to another level. How do they do that? Anyhow, I don't have video of that, but as for the comet, we may be able to see it tomorrow evening. There's this website called Time and Date, and if you go there and I look at this image, now I say we won't be able to see it tonight because of the clouds, but tomorrow night will probably clear up around the Boston Cape Cod area, and you go to Wikipedia, and it gives you these diagrams and where did that comet come from. It was just discovered 18 months ago by these two observatories, and it's new essentially to us on Earth. New things happen all the time. That starship and this comet, things we didn't even think possible a few years ago, are happening right now. And the orbit of this comet is right between the sun and Earth. It was at perihelion, closest to the sun, yesterday, October 12th, and now it's going to start slowly pulling away. But we may be able to still see it tomorrow evening when the sky clears, and maybe, just maybe, I have it in my time lapse that I did looking toward the west after sunset in the pond yesterday. I haven't really checked that yet. And what else did I want to say about that? Yeah, it's a chunk of ice that was ejected by the Oort cloud on the edge of our solar system. So there's plenty for you to Google. I was doing that. Oort cloud ejected an ice ball. That's the new comet. That's it for the weather. Here's the Enmore from yesterday. A beautiful Saturday, October 12th. Hope your Sunday is going well. Talk to you again tomorrow. What kind of flowers are those? Pretty flowers. Hydrangea. Paniculata.
Are those dahlias over there?
Those are dahlias. Wow, look at those.
They're really nice.
Look at the size of them. They're prize dahlia. Gorgeous. What a day. It's like 70 degrees outside. Let's go swimming.
I saw Tracy. She had a bundle of flowers from this garden. And I said, you shouldn't have.
And she said, I didn't. Arthur Walker Association. Tree down. We'll just leave that there for the rest of our life. So it's windy out in the water, but it's like 70 degrees. Perfect day for swimming. Tide's going out, bummer. So we got a crew of 4. Chris, Kevin, Anne Marie, TK. TK is making a video. It appears that there's a bird standing on the water out there. What is that? I would assume that there's a buoy there. Hey, William. All right, let's do a time lapse of this project. In progress. This is 40 minutes. Always raft over here. Get the ladder off the raft. Now it's coming to the hard part.
That's what happens to our boat.
Oh man, it was only in the water for like what, 4 months?
Oh no, that.
Cormorant. Cement. for our next feat of strength, I'm going to try and get it up the hill. See how that works. And so there it is. That's the winter resting spot. Very helpful rollers. Thank you, Carol. Now we got another raft to go. Maybe the nicest October 12th ever in our life. Oh, they're not waiting for the cameraman, weatherman.
There recently.
Two of us. All right. KK,
Thanks, buddy.
Chris,
See you guys.
Dave,
Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
Carol brought the rollers and offered us all the.
You had a nice morning golfing, afternoon on the boat. It's a good day.
Not a bad October afternoon at all. And she's ready for winter, pretty much. Sunburn factor 11 out of 10. T-Rex, did you put some sunscreen on today? He's loving this. Rex, did you see this imposter? Look at all the sunlight in this room. I don't like when the sun goes down early, but the lower sun angle certainly is good for passive solar heating. So, just past 4 o'clock, we made it to 72 degrees in Hyannis today. Airport's right over there. I don't think we could have asked for a prettier day. It was kind of breezy, but we'll take it. Now the big question is what happens to the warm front coming at us? What's the wind going to do overnight and tomorrow? If we can avoid the southeast wind, we may have a few hours of really nice weather again. T-Rex helping Kevin with the yard work. Or not. Oh, gorgeous. There's the moon. And we're back down to the pond. And why don't we do another time lapse, this time of the sun going down, and we got a little bocce going on over there.
Come on, Rex, want to play with Daisy?
And the same place I would have been playing 50 years ago when I was 12, 9, somewhere in there. Bass River Beauty, Fallens Pond sunset, and some bocce.
There you go. Someone here this morning.
Closing down the beach one day early. Alright, 6 to 4. It's a game. Oh,
I think you got
stop me. That was
I did
perfect.
get it.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was perfect. Yeah. 6-6.
Vaughn won with 5 skips. All right. Oh, Kev got 6. Breaking news. We hit ducks. And this is the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. My phone just can't handle the night light.